What's going on, everybody? It's Ricky with Video Homicide, and I just got finished watching the 1973 film directed by Sergio Martino, Torso. So this is a film that has eluded me for some time. I just never, for whatever reason, I never got around to watching it. And it is available to be watched on YouTube, so go ahead, check out the flick. The only problem with the copy on YouTube is it opens with Italian dialogue, no subtitles, and then it ends with Italian dialogue, no English subtitles, which is fine because you're not really, at least the way I looked at it, I understood the movie fully, and, like 95% of the film is in English, so, there you go. That's the problem when you're watching movies on YouTube or watching movies on any kind of like 123 movies type site or anything like that. A lot of times you're not going to be able to get the subtitles, which is a pain in the ass. Or sometimes you could get a film off the internet and then it's impossible to get a subtitle to line up correctly. I've been through many nightmares. Like back when I was on my South Korean cinema kick, I was watching a lot of Bong Joon-ho films, Memoirs of a Murder, The Host. There was another one, I forget what it was called, but I remember having issues finding correct audio tracks. Lady Snowblood, which is another, two films that I have still not been able to fully enjoy because of subtitle bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, I have a copy of Necromantic, and it's German, but that movie's fucked up enough that I don't really give a fuck about the story. Movies like Lady Snowblood, you could argue, it's a cinematic thing, it's a visual thing, but I still wouldn't mind knowing, because I've seen Necromantic in English, right? So I get it, but it can be a bit of a pain in the ass dealing with this type of film watchery. But anyways, the film is from 1973, and it's a Giallo film. Giallo is a genre of Italian cinema that I really want to, brush up on this year. I've got a few in the queue to watch. Matter of fact, I think one of them's called A Blade in the Dark, and I'm pretty sure that is Lamberto Bava, and something of the iris, blood in the iris, blood in the eye of the iris, something like that. I think that one is that one might actually be the Bava film. But anyways, this movie Torso, it's I wouldn't say run-of-the-mill Giallo film, but it's pretty much, the same formula, the same format that a lot of these Giallo films take on, and that's like someone witnesses a murder, and then they're stalked throughout the film until at the end there's like a Scooby-Doo reveal, rip the mask off and you see who it is. So not going to get too deep into the plot. There were some pretty insane kills in this film. For a minute, or for a few of the kills, I actually kind of thought that maybe the copy that I was watching was tamed down, just because it felt like in certain scenes they showed quite a bit, and then in some it was so quick that you didn't really get a good look at what was happening. Like right out of the gate, there's people being strangled, and then their titties being cut open, and it's a really graphic, good, wholesome film for the family. You know what I mean? That's the thing. Early 70s horror film where they're still sort of finding their niche and finding how much they can get away with. You know what I mean? Because some of those, like, well, you know what? I take that back, because I believe Bird with the Crystal Plumage is 1969, which would have been like 4 years before this, and I'm pretty sure that film showed quite a bit more. And same with, the other Argento animal films, so Cat o' Nine Tails, Four Flies on Grey Velvet. I'm actually due to rewatch all those. Although I think I watched them all while I lived here, so within the last year I've seen them all, but I still want to check them out again because I just think they're fantastic films. But Torso, I keep like drifting off. I like the film quite a bit. I haven't seen that many Sergio Martino films. I believe I might have reviewed one within the last year, maybe even for 30 Days of Horror, but I really want to watch some more because I like his stuff, and I believe he wrote this story, and it was good. So some of the other kills that were badass, there's a guy that's like this creepy dude that's like selling scarves, because a scarf is like the key weapon used by this killer, and there's a sleazy like street salesman that sells scarves and sunglasses and shit. He gets chased by a car, and gets like his head smushed in, and it's really good. Like you see like the practical fake head getting like impaled at one point, but they did a great job at masking everything. Thought that was really fun. And there's these 3 girls, well 4 girls technically, that go seek refuge because there's this killer afoot. And they go to this villa, like this really nice big house up in the Italian mountains, and the killer shows up and kills 3 of them because the one girl like she like sprains her ankle or some shit going down the stairs. So there's a little bit of this tension throughout that part of the film where this girl is trying to sneak around the house, but she's locked in the house, and she gets locked in her room. And then there's a really cool scene where the killer comes into her room where she's hiding, and he takes the key out of the lock and puts it on the other side and locks the door. And then he leaves. And at the whole time that this is happening, he's also like cutting up her friends' bodies with a hacksaw, bagging them up, and then burying them out in the woods. And you get to see a really decent amount, I would say. But one of my favorite things, and this chick's crafty, she like takes a piece of newspaper and slips it under the doorway, and then like jimmies the key out so it falls, but it misses the newspaper. And as she's pulling the newspaper in, we see the feet of the killer come in, pick up the key, put it on the newspaper. So when she opens the door, boom, there's the killer. And he's like a psycho guy, and he's kind of got this bit of a backstory. Like all these Giallo films, the killer always has some fucked up backstory. Like if you think of Pieces, how like the kid had this traumatic experience when he was a kid. That's the same with this film. And the story with this one is there's like the big brother, the little sister, and then the middle brother. One of the kids' dolls is like fell near this cliff, and the big brother goes to pick it up, falls, and then every time you kind of see one of the kills happen in this film, you get a flash of like this hand reaching for this doll, and the whole time you're like, what the hell is that all about? Explained at the end. And like the way the killer dies in this film is very laughable. There is a fight ensues between this, I believe he's the doctor. He comes and catches this bad guy being bad, chases him, and then throws him off the cliff. And this is where I get confused because you don't really see who falls off the cliff. I mean, I guess they use it for dramatic effect, but it's so hilarious because he just falls off the cliff. And then when you see later on, when like the little kid version, like the flashback, when that kid falls off, it's literally like you take a stuffed doll, put it in a fucking RPG bazooka, and then fire it off the side of the cliff, because it just goes like it was laughable, but still pretty goddamn cool, but there's no way the kid would fall. Like if you fall off a cliff, you're not gonna fucking like project off the side of the cliff. But what can you say? Another really cool part about this film that I liked was the chase scene between the killer and like this guy that's kind of socially awkward. I don't really want to use the R word, but he seems to be a little half-cocked, if you want to call it that. And he gets killed in a pretty graphic way. Actually, how did he get killed? I think he just gets his neck slit, some shit like that. But then he gets his body taken and buried. And I had fun with Torso. Apparently, Torso was often paired with Texas Chainsaw Massacre at like the drive-ins and stuff. And I could definitely see that. I would recommend that as a double feature. So if you know any good Giallo films in this, out there, leave a comment in the description, and like I always say this, I'll try my best to get to them, but it's at least nice to have the suggestions, have the titles, you know what I mean? So I hope everybody enjoyed the video. Make sure you leave a 666 in the comments, and with that being said, adios, have a good day, have a good night, have a good week.